Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Graham Morrison. I am the advocate for Peronius, and we're here for the same reason all of you are. Some excellent Australian amateur Overwatch. And Peronius, this is gonna be fantastic. Tracer Dab versus Six Head. How hyped are you?
I am very much looking forward to this one. Looking forward to see Hummus's new team in action. He's been a long time, known, a couple of known names on that team. In fact, at this season, and of course Tracer Dab, quite a veteran team at AAOL. All of us know and love them. So this is definitely going to be something of a proving ground for both these teams in the new ladder, and I'm very keen to see how things go.
Yeah, and we got a nice little combo there with hummus and bread. Not quite hummus and pita, but we'll have to settle for hummus and bread.
Absolutely, and definitely some well-known names in our amateur scene here. Some would say infamous names at times, but definitely some very dangerous players.
And we get to start off here on, of course, the absolutely beautiful lighthouse segment of this map, which, I mean, what more can you ask for? Nice little view. We got the water in the background. We got boats going by. And more importantly, we got fragging on a point. And they're just picking their heroes right now, deciding what they want to play. We do have the new patch live. Torbjorn is banned. But there is still quite a lot that they can choose from. Maybe we'll see the recently buffed 76. Eevee looks like he's going towards Pharaoh, which of course did see a buff there as well.
Yeah, I mean, this has always been a good Pharaoh map in general on Ilios here. What I'm interested in is that neither team's running a Reinhardt, which does show that we're sort of moving a bit away from the GOATS-dominated meta that we've been in for so long.
We have this opening engagement starting in the pharmacy combo. It isn't really contested in the skies, and that's going to give them huge opportunity. There's a D.Va they'll have to deal with. That's going to be their only real competitor up there. They are just letting Eevee throw some shots in, but it's Arcs on that Doomfist, putting in work, picking off the Winston, which is a lovely first pick. Desmond falling as well, and this is going the way of Tracer Dab thus far.
Yeah, Tracer Dab taking an early lead here. Really nice connection from that Doomfist uppercut that sends Bread flying a little further than he wanted and off the edge, and looks like they'll take control of the point here and start building up percentage. They're going to have that Moira Coalescence and that D.Va Bomb online for the next fight, so a very early ult advantage as well on the way of Tracer Dab.
Now, we are going to see how this re-engagement comes in from Six Head as they try and put the pressure on Tracer Dab. Coming in, of course, in that upper area by that patio and getting right up in the face is SN8. Not able to find anything thus far. It's going to be Desmond on the Brigida to fall. Arcs again getting a lovely opening pick. He's going to chime with one back in onto the Winston, but the D.Va is being demeched. Again, this isn't going quite the way that Six Head had expected.
It was definitely an optimistic dive to jump onto that rooftop and start a fight around the corner. Not a lot of angles available for the rest of them to follow through, and they're still going for it here, committing the primal. Bread is going to try and push this fight through as the respawns start to make their way back.
But again, it's Arcs. Another pick onto Desmond. That is the Brigida down once again. And now with Bread going down, this push has been stunted, and we have a pause called by SN8 because Hummus died.
Yeah, well, that's it's always unfortunate when you're but okay, it looks like we are getting a threat back into this. Yep.
He is alive, but he died IRL. It's not the he's still in the server. I'm like, I phrased that. I was like, wow, that's a really good pause. Reason. Yep, your Mercy died. Let's just call a pause. Mercy's down.
Okay, so we are at 70% now. So this is looking like it could potentially be a 100-0 hold for Tracer Dab here. They have a lot of ultimates to use. I mean, Six Head do have tools as they come in, but there's an early engagement from Tracer Dab there, and that's a devastating bomb that's really going to potentially completely shut them out at this point.
Yeah, Six Head, they need to find a way to get on this point. The time is starting to dwindle down. It's 92%. I'm not sure there will be a D.Va getting just on the point. Actually knocked off and gonna be DMAC. This is gonna be a tough spot for them, and they're not even able to get on that point at all. Farrah gets in there at the very last second, but it's just a second too late. 100-0 for Tracer Dab, looking dominant here on a first map.
Yeah, now that last fight, very well executed by them. They caught Six Head as they were coming in, hit them with the EMP, followed up with the Diva Bomb, and there's just, if you're caught out in the open against that, there is nothing you can do. So they just absolutely capitalized on the fact that they knew this was going to be the last fight, and they made it not exist. And when that happened, Six Head had no option but to desperately try and touch point. And again, very well goaltended by Tracer Dab to prevent that from happening. So they're setting up in a very good position here, and it looks like we will be seeing more of the same from them. They are still favouring that Doomfist Sombra that has been so strong at the moment, and we'll see if Six Head can deal with this as they come in.
And speaking of that Sombra, that's why that last push was so effective. That hack, I believe, got 4 separate players. So if you can continue to get a lot of impact with those hacks, this is going to be very difficult for Six Head. They do have a little bit more control towards the actual point, although it hasn't unlocked yet. And here comes the engagement getting in there, and it's Eevee going down. Arcs with another opening pick. He's winning the entry frags in so many of these engagements, doing wonders for his team. Arc's going to get another one on to the Roadhog, and this should once again be Tracer Dab winning this fight.
Yeah, those kills are definitely coming through very much in favour of Tracer Dab. Even with that late kill coming back from Thomas onto Dr. Memes Winston, that point is going to flip over to Tracer Dab, and Six Head going to have to go back to spawn and come up with a new plan for how to break into this. Because at the moment, Arx is just pretty much uncontested with those entry frags. He's just getting in and deleting someone as Doomfist, and they are not appropriately managing to shut him down. So we are going to see some changes from them. They're bringing out the Doomfist Sombra of their own. Let's see if that gives them the tools they need to stop Arx from just basically picking the fights he wants to pick.
He is sitting in a good spot right now to get that engagement. Might charge right in, not able to find a kill thus far, and he's going to be picked off. Eevee, that Doomfist, paying off instantly. Getting the first one now. Can he find anything else? Dr. Meme will even the fight up 5v5 right now. They are trying to find the follow-up kills as Eevee, once again, this time picking the Moira. This Doomfist pick working wonders. And we may have the first fight won by Six Head. They're still trying to engage here. They're still hold up by Tracer Dab. Again, Eevee will be cleaned up this time. So Tracer Dab, they're being resilient here in a fight that looked like it was going Six Head's way. They're doing a good job of churning into it. Red going down, Asinate getting DMAC'd, and this will be against all odds Tracer Dab holding.
Yeah, very nicely played by Tracer Dab. As much as the early kills came over in favour of Six Head, they ended up bottled up in this room, and Tracer Dab just waited for them to come out. The point wasn't being pressured, and in the end, Tracer Dab were able to reinforce themselves, get the opportunities that Six Head gave to them, and eventually win this one out. So now we're once again heading into last fight territory. Six Head have one chance to get control at this point.
See how they go in. The Meteor Strike from Arx picks off his rival Doomfist. Chimes right back in, grabbing the Sombra. Those are 2 massive picks. And now with these players pushed back, the Coalescence being popped out, they should be able to find a few more kills. A hack coming in onto the point, and that will shred bread. Everybody has fallen. It's just Asinate, DMAC. He's gone down, and it is going to be... Well, there's still Eevee here. There's a little bit of a chime in with the hack too as well. Doesn't seem to matter though. It's going to be a second 100-0 as Elios going Tracer Dab's way in dominant fashion.
Yeah, they're absolutely just playing this incredibly well. They've obviously had a lot of practice on this Doomfist Sombra style, and they're just every time catching Six Head as they're looking to set up these engagements, and either getting in there with the Doomfist and deleting something, or getting in there with the Sombra and just disrupting everything that Six Head wants to do before they have a chance to execute. And it's just making so that Six Head do not get a chance to even take the fights they want to be taking. They really only had one team fight that they actually got to fight in, which is that one where they started to make some headway, with Arx going down early to Eevee's Doomfist. But even then, they just ended up getting stalled out, and Tracer Dab were able to come back and once again pick the fight, choose the speed of the engagement, and win it on their terms, not allowing Six Head to actually really get a say on how these fights are going to go.
Now, the difference is, of course, with it being in control, that's kind of the name of the game, picking your engagements, getting in basically on either team's ground, and it's who kind of dictates the pace. It's going to be a little bit different as we head into our escort map, which is Route 66. And that gives potentially a better footing here for Six Head.
Yeah, very much could be. That said, 66 has long been a wonderful Sombra map. Obviously, on these maps with sort of the attack-defense dynamic, it can be a bit harder for an attacking Sombra to take territory off a defensive Sombra. And I imagine Six Head are going to be at this point worried about more Sombra coming out of Tracer Dab. So if they choose to defend first, I would imagine they bring out their own Sombra to try and deny real estate from Tracer Dab. But at the same time, there are other ways to skin a cat, so we'll see how they go and how they want to play this one.
Where did that expression come from? Like, why are people skinning cats?
That's a good question.
Like, what did the cat ever do to you? I don't know. That's one of those. There's some sayings out there that just like baffle me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's understandable. It is certainly an unusual term of phrase.
Well, we'll see if they manage to skin the cat or something along those lines.
Or if the cat manages to skin them in turn.
Exactly. So I guess Tracer Dab in this case are the cats. And those cool cats are going to be on your blue side once again. We'll be Six Head back on red. As we're just in the assembly time right now. They're picking what they want to do, how they want to do it. Saying, how do you do to each other? Is, I don't know. What would your go-to comp be if you were sitting here, Peronius? What would you run?
What would I run to deal with that sort of Doomfist Sombra? I feel like I'd actually want to bring out probably a Brigida, because those stuns just stack the table with stuns. Both Doomfist and Sombra really don't respond well to being stunned. So I would definitely favor bringing out the likes of Brigida, bringing out McCree, and just looking to deal with them every time they come in. Obviously, Sombra is a bit harder to lock down because with her infinite invisibility, she can basically choose to pop up whenever. There's still that window of opportunity if she decloaks too close to you to get a stun in there, and the moment she's stunned, she's in a world of trouble. So I think stuns would be the answer to that, but yeah, there's, as mentioned, there's a lot of different ways, and we will see how Tracer 6 want to do this as they open with the attack.
Okay, Six Head are going with the Sombra still on EV, but it's going to be PS4 on the Genji. They are running into Arcs on Widow, so that Genji is a very nice counter that they may not be expecting, and just kind of fortuitous for them that that's the way that the defense is set up for Tracer Dab. He's already in behind. They've given up a lot of space right now as they are looking for the first engagement. And here come the tanks right in onto the combo. It's going to be Tiger Bro getting picked in the backfield, but a bunch of trades coming in right on the point. Both Lucio's, one Lucio's down as Royal Eskimo grabbing 2 kills. Very nice jun by him.
Yeah, it's a very nice Ana grenade in there on that fight that just left a lot of people feeling very vulnerable there. And it looks like we still have a fight dragging on here as we have them going in deep there. And it looks like, yeah, it looks like Six Head may be gradually looking to retreat. Ace and 8 now in a lot of trouble, cornered there in the cave. He's going to get DMAX, so that's going to stagger things out. Six Head really not in a great position here. They're losing a lot of time for what is not really a winnable fight for them because they've still got their team not ready to push. They're finally all grouped up, but Ace and 8 still stuck out of mech. This is really taking a lot of time off the clock for them here, so not a great position to be in.
Cart is slowly moving forward, but that is a nice hack. I could only call it one player. It doesn't matter though. Chun-Li with the Diva Bomb picks off the Genji, and they're looking for a few follow-up kills. Ark's getting one onto Eevee. A very nice Ana nade will also get Bread killed. So some nice work so far from the Ana of Subred. getting a lot of very nice antis out here. And that's really detrimenting Six Head. They are not able to get a foothold under them whatsoever. We may see them see a complete stonewall here, assuming then that he continues to have that impact.
Arx has the infra sites up now, so it's going to further delay the Six Head's first push, although they are actually coming around despite that. They're committing... So, yeah, Tracer Dad going in deep with the Primal Winston here, and he's picked up one and popped his Primal. Oh, that's going to be devastating as he cleans up the end of this fight. That was quick and decisive.
Yeah, there's a few, like, 3 2v1s coming in there that just led to everyone dying. There wasn't, like, set people fighting, like, all together. It was just, like, a couple 1v1s that just wound up escalating, and Six Head just kind of shows the way they're going. They're losing the team fights, losing the individual duels. But PS4 on that Genji doing all kinds of work right now, picking up both supports, grabbing the Widow as well before falling, and demeching the D.Va. So that's hero plays from PS4, and now the cart will move as the defense has to back up. Singular Genji doing all the work, and that's just what it took. That was the formula.
I wouldn't say doing all the work. He did have Desmond's nano boost on him there, so that is a nano blade there, which is certainly a force to be reckoned with. And very few things can successfully answer that. A really nice sleep dart can do it, of course, but hard target to hit with that. And so we are going to see first point cap through, and Six Head pushing forwards, trying to take some space, get this going, but there's an early engagement.
That was a beautiful hack, but they're not able to convert off of it. They've dropped their Sombra and their Ana. They'll get the D-Mech on the D.Va, but that's not worth it for what they could have had. Eskimo is going to pick off PS4, but doesn't really matter. Bread still doing work. Comus is going to win the Lucio fight, and now it is just Chun-Li here in dire straits.
Yeah, Chun-Li makes the good decision there, eventually to fly on the cart, realizing that I'm not getting out of this one without losing my mech, so at least forcing them to take him out and not just stagger it out. Now Tiger Bro looking to go for a sneaky kill on the Lucio, doesn't quite manage it, but again, bleeding more progress off the cart while his team gets time to recruit. They will get one more contest here, but this is notoriously a difficult contest to have due to the tight choke you're coming out of.
Well, they've managed to get through the choke without taking too much damage, so they are trying to get this engagement through, but Tiger Bro going down once again. The Sombra being denied quite heavily. PS4 getting a pair is lovely, and that will stop this defense. They are trying to retreat, get back together.
Yeah, Dr. Meme using the Primal there might be a bit of a mistake, but they are still going for it. They are committing ultimates into this one. And they are taking a lot of these fights on the cart, so it is still bleeding time off the clock here as the sound barrier is committed. But Six Head really looks like they're starting to come alive here. Eevee getting very low, does manage to recall out just in time, but PS4 picking up Chun-Li there, and Arc's going down as well. It does look like this will be Six Head's fight. It's just a matter at this point of how long Tracer Dab can keep this one going, how much time they can bleed off the clock here, because it's unlikely that they turn this around. That said, the kills are actually starting to slowly coming through, and as I say that, PS4 gets a couple of really nice dash resets there, and yes, this one still very much going to be in favour of Tracer Dab, in favour of Six Head, but a lot of time burnt off the clock, considering that wasn't really a winnable fight.
And really, what I feel like the difference has been is that Six Head has started to get on the supports early in these engagements. And the early engagements coming in from Tracer Dab just haven't been as effective as they were on Ilios. Let's see if this continues as we are into the final phase. A great D.Va Bomb's going to pick off Chun-Li. A nice hack means Dr. Meme has fallen as well. A couple players here in trouble, trying to back off for this defense, and they will be Tiger Bro getting caught. 3 up for the defense, and they're starting to be picked apart and pushed back. This is beautiful from Six Head as this cart moves forward.
Yeah, they've definitely come alive here, and we have seen the transition from the defenders here going over to the Ryan Zarya based comp, which is going to work very well in this very narrow point. But they do have to worry about Tiger Bro, and there it is. EMP coming through at the start of this fight.
Yeah, 3 down. Eskimo's trying to chime back in with whatever he can. Not going to be enough, as it is just him finally going down. Team kill, cap all the way through, and that's how you do it. for the first round.
Yeah, so really good to see Six Head come alive there, and yeah, like the PS4's Genji putting in a lot of work. He obviously is getting the nano boost on those blades, but even that last one where I think he was caught in that EMP, because all of the defenders were so clustered up, even without getting the dash resets, he was still able to do some hideous damage and just cleave a hole in their team that everyone else can follow up through on.
Nothing quite like hideous damage. It's so brutal. Can't even look at it. You're repulsed by it because it was just so dirty. And that kind of basically sums up what a lot of that Genji play was. It was textbook, it was beautifully executed, and dear lord was it deadly.
Absolutely, and the I suppose the big thing here is that third point was almost a straight push through. Normally the most defensible place of the map, the easiest place to stall things out, but Six Head managed to come into it with enough ultimates and enough momentum that they're able to push right through, and it actually ends up being their shortest stage of the map compared to, you know, parts 1 and 2. They got stalled out for a bit, just smooth sailing through C. So that's definitely going to set them up in a great position here, because finishing Route 66 with any time in the bank is a great place to be.
Yeah, I mean, especially after like the first segment of this map, where it was starting to look like Tracer Dab weren't even gonna give up like the second time, like get them to the second area. It was just gonna be completely stalled out by the gas station. It looked like it was gonna be done, and then they have one nice hero nano blade come in, and it was just enough.
But let's see now with Tracer Dab on the defensive and Eevee more able to Tracer Dab on the attack rather. I'm getting my teams mixed up, that's terrible. But we'll see if Eevee has managed to, as this Sombra, pick and choose his counter engages onto them and get this going, or if it's going to be a lightning round as we saw on Control by Tracer Dab.
This engagement is in right now. No one's done much of anything in this fight. It's been fairly elongated. And now Desmond's in a little bit of trouble being knocked around, knocked away. Doesn't matter though, Ark's getting a nice pick on to the Winston. Will be the opener for Tracer Dab as he continues to move this cart forward. He's going to see the re-aggression coming in from Six Head right now, trying to find anything, any opening they can into this defense. In PS4, he's going to be cleaned up with ease. Icinate is going to go down as well, or at least be demeched, I should say. Should be cleaned up momentarily. There it is. And Tracer Dab, they're looking comfortable on this offense right now, as this is almost non-stop cart movement.
Yeah, I mean, that was really nicely played by Subred. PS4 was looking to set up an ambush with Eevee onto that Ana, and then just the Bionade coming down at just the right time with some other damage coming in from the team, just managed to clean up PS4 and put Eevee into a very precarious position at the same time, just as they're about to jump in, or just as they were jumping in, and it just sets up that fight to go very much in the favor of Tracer Dab.
Now we have seen Homa swap off the Lucio over to the Brigitte right now. See if that has any positive impact as the defense is engaging right up on that cart. Brad going down early though. First pick once again. CS4 trying to chime in. He's actually just turned around and escaping. They realize that dropping the Winston means that they don't have much of a footing into that fight. As the cart starts to move further and further now, almost about halfway through the map.
Yeah, they did manage to get the Transcendence out of Royal Eskimo, and oh, that's a very nice 1-2 there with the self-destruct and off on the back of the EMP to clean up that one. So it looks like we will
jump off a cliff.
Yeah, like they know this one's done. Royal Eskimo getting a lot done there with the kill on the Homos there, but this one is still just a matter of time, and I think he needs to reset. He's just getting staggered out here. There he goes.
Did the most important part when you're dropping down. Drop the spray. It's got the hand halfway down the wall. Now we should see another engagement start to come forth soon.
Now,
Just waiting, of course, for Eskimo to spawn.
The one advantage of Royal Eskimo spending all that time is it gives him a chance to rebuild his Transcendence, which means that PS4 has a very small window to get this blade in, but there it goes.
Oh, and the blade's doing all kinds of work. Ark's getting two. but not before PS4 gets 4. And he's on for a 5th. Of course he's gonna get that. And a full team kill coming in. Bread picking up the last one onto the other Genji. And dear lord, these Genjis, they seem to be the story of this map. Both of them doing a ton of work right now. But PS4...
Yeah, the Nano Blade meta is definitely back.
For now.
For now.
The nice thing about Overwatch is you hate the meta, just know it's for now. But now we've got the I love Team Maze or whatever. I can't figure out what Brigitte actually says. But whatever it is, we do have them both coming out here as this engagement starting to come forth. They're looking for anything. Blade coming right back in deep. Ark's getting on Desmond. That's the Ana down. He's gonna get another one onto Bread. So Ark's doing very good work as he got that Blade up a lot faster than PS4 did.
Well, that said, like, PS4 is still up at 80%, and both of these guys used Blade in the last fight. So there's some very fast building Blade from both of these Genjis.
Hack and Diva Bomb coming in once again. Subred going down on the Ana. Doesn't matter though, Cart should get here at any moment. Well, their delays are being strong, trying to turn any time down. But it doesn't really matter. The kills are still going the way of Sixhead. PS4 though, he wants to have hero plays with this Nano Blade. Finding a couple, but Chung-Li with the Diva Bomb also going to shred. So this is such a tight fight right now.
I think the defenders have
in, but it will be the defenders getting it.
Yeah, so that was interesting there. Like they managed to get the Transcendence out of Royal Eskimo. So the moment that happened, PS4 is just grinning because his Ana has Nano up, he's got Blade up, and the Transcendence is out of the way. So at that moment, they knew that fight was winnable, and absolutely they just pull out the Blade and cut a hole through Tracer Dab once more, and are able to just rely on their respawns to make up the number deficit.
Long range spam being exchanged right now, just looking for the right opportunity to engage, and there is the Winston going in deep. He's boosted it as well. PS4 getting picked off very early is huge. As this Winston still trying to do what he can. Will get slapped a couple times there. And now he's back swinging his fists around. Primal Rage engaged, gonna pin Desmond in the corner. Kills are going the way of the offense, and finally we should have them cap this out. The minute 58, they have 57 seconds to get through. Match the time that was put before them. There isn't going to be a tight corridor engagement though this time. That's what punished Tracer Dab. Tracer Dab tried to go for a very close quarters engagement at the very beginning of the third phase. They got picked off, and then they never could really mount a set defense.
Yeah, absolutely. So once again, they are swapping over to these brawl tanks here as they try and push this through. But obviously they do have the ability to pick their fights a bit more on the offense as well. PS4 has gone down early in the fight a second time to Arcs. That Brigitte really proving to be a pretty dangerous answer. And that's a very long-range pin onto the Ana there as Dr. Meme takes the real deep. So they're going to get a lot of space. They're going to get a lot of cart movement off this. There'll be one last chance for the defenders from Sixhead to try and take control of this cart back.
60 seconds.
Well, the spawners are there. They are starting to work their way out of spawn. And now here is the Brigitte engagement coming forth. A lot of ultis being used, and it's going to be Chung-Li getting two of them. The Brigitte and Sombra falling. The remaining players being cleaned up. It's just Desmond and PS4. PS4 on the Hanzo is now the only one standing on this cart. He's going to be cleaned up. Spawner's coming back in. Hammond gets there just in time. The Wrecking Ball hack will be through as well. It doesn't matter though. Kills still going the way of the offense. As Hammond still trying to do what it can. And the Winston will arrive. These staggers are strong. And the key thing is even though this engagement's going the way of the offense, even though they cap it through, those delays burned 45 seconds off the clock. So rather than Tracer Dab finishing it with more time in the bank than Sixhead, they've got about 30 seconds less.
Yeah, 48 seconds less as it turns out. And so we'll be heading into time bank here. And at this sort of different distance, it does mean that Sixhead basically have one extra fight available to them on their offense than Tracer Dab do. That said, from what we saw the last time around, Tracer Dab definitely did their best on the first stage of this point, both on offense and defense. They were the cleanest through there. So if that continues to be the case, Six Head are in trouble despite their time back advantage. So it's really going to come down to if Tracer Dab can keep executing this point A as cleanly and crispy as they have been, they'll be able to make up that time difference. But once again, we have seen some good adaptations coming out of Six Head. They're starting to come alive. They're starting to find out what tools they need to be able to deal with Tracer Dab. This could go either way.
And I, funnily enough, remember casting Tracer Dab last season on this map, and kind of a similar thing happened where they steamrolled through first point. They seem to be a team that's very well equipped for this first area, and they won that game in the extra rounds, as we are right now, just with flawless pushing off the bat. We'll see if it works again, as we've got the trip tanks coming out.
Yeah, so it looks like they're running, I believe, what is being referred to by some as the Go Anna comp. It's the variants of goats, but running Anna instead of the Moira. Moira being in a bit of a rough place at the moment. There's a big anti-nade being thrown down there, but not quite followed up on. So that opportunity lost as rather Six Head do get the first kill, or rather the first DMAC onto Chung Li, but have a couple of members getting very low there, and the cart is just pushing through uncontested all this time.
Yeah, and that's huge, the fact that they've gotten this much free ground. It will go into overtime momentarily. 5 seconds left on the clock, but the kills are going the way of Tracer Dab. They've picked off the rival Brigida, which is a great start. Now the ulti's coming out. Someone needs to get on this cart. They need to stay on it, and in fact, they are. They're looking for whatever kills they can find here. Dr. Meme swinging his hammer is going to find 2 of them. Make that a 3rd onto Eevee, and they are going to get the first cap through, and they've got room to move it quite a bit further. This is looking beautiful for Tracer Dab.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're Six Head, you don't really have... Actually, I take that back. They've got the tools in the bank. They're probably going to be looking to just get a big EMP onto the cart and follow that up with both the Dragon Blade and the Diva Bomb, and try and end it there. So it's going to be a lot of pressure on Tracer Dab to try and find a way through this next fight. If they can get an early grab or shatter onto Six Head as they're setting up. But here it comes.
There's a hack of the bomb. It'll only manage to find a Royal Eskimo. And now the follow-up is what is so key. Arcs with the Graviton is going to lead to a complete cleanup. That's 3 players down. Remaining 3 backing off. And once again, Tracer Dab moving forward. So even though Six Head had climbed that ladder, grabbed the briefcase, and had money in the bank, they were not able to successfully cash in. That results in a beautiful run so far for Tracer Dab.
Yeah, the only misplay there from Tracer Dab is using the Shatter and Grav at the same time, but even then, I don't know if Six Head have the appropriate tools to really punish that. They've only really got the Dragon Blade for the big danger results, so it's going to be difficult to clear off this cart with that alone, but Desmond is getting close to that Nano, and that may be the combo they go for.
They are in this huge engagement. They are staying on this point as Ace and 8 is getting cleaned up again. Hobus has gone down this time on Brigida 2. PS4 with the Nano Blade out, trying to be the hero, trying to do whatever he can. Getting up in Arch's face on that cart. He's found 3 kills. He needs to find more. But it looks like still, in spite of that heroic play, Tracer Dab, they're winning this engagement. The cart is moving forward. They've managed to get to the second area. This is so beautiful from Tracer Dab. Could we see them cap all the way through here?
It's going to be difficult, but it's definitely not out of the question at this point. And I think in that last fight, I think it's just the overtime respawns that really hurt the defenders, as they normally would have been able to get people back into that fight before it was over. But with everyone taking that little bit longer to respawn, it just means the attackers actually had more of an opportunity there than they normally would. That's a big shatter coming out for Dr. Man.
That is a massive one. Brendan, a lot of trouble. Willsby retreating as Dr. Meme is up in his face. And look how much space he has grabbed for his team. PS4 now on Junkrat has picked off a backline player in the Lucio. And there is Eevee in behind with a great hack. Bomb coming forth. That will be only Tiger Bro going down. I honestly thought that would get more. And now players being knocked off this point. There are a couple still here. But the defense may finally have had their bend but not break point. But the question is it too little, too late, Peronius? Defense will hold. They're being pushed off this cart. There's still a couple up by it, but it looks like it will be Six Head stopping it.
Ooh.
Like I said, is it too little, too late? Did they give up too much space?
That is one heck of a hill to have to climb up with a minute 48 on the clock. I would not be. I mean, that is a comfortable place to have the cart end with your full starting time bank. So I definitely would not be feeling great going into this if I was Tracer Dab. They need to pull out something big if they want to win fight after fight. Because as we saw through there was 2 full ult rotations from the defenders before that cart was stopped. There's a lot of ground to take in not a lot of time. So definitely looking very much in favor of Tracer Dab here. Looks like we are going to be seeing a cheesy Bastion out of Eevee to try and brute force this one through. Just a bold plan, because those Bastion comps tend to start to fall around as the ultimates come online. So we'll see if they manage to make use of that. I'm also personally not a big fan of Bastion, and we are going to see the swap from Eevee. So as I was going to say, not a big fan of it on Route 66. There's a lot of high ground to use against that Bastion, and they have rightly so swapped off that over to... No, they're going back to the Bastion. Wow. So we are going to be seeing a Bastion comp.
Yo-ho! A pirate's life for Eevee.
And PS4 will be reprising that Genji role. And we're having a very early defense coming out from the part of Tracer Dab, but it gets punished with an Annonade, and that's actually looking very good for... Oh, no, both teams taking heavy losses here in this early fight.
Brett on the recently buffed Orisa, though, doing everything he can. A lot of work, and will be escaping. Not escaping. I thought he was going to get out. Dr. Meme chasing him down. That was a very cheeky play from Tracer Dab, and also a brilliant play as they continue to churn this clock away.
Yeah, so I mean, that sort of early defense is actually very effective against that sort of Bastion, because you engage on them before they can get on the cart, before they can get that Bastion set up. So absolutely the right tools, and they're going for another very early defense here. They are not letting this cart get any free movement.
And picking Brett off, that shield down is so massive. There'll be the res coming right back in, but the Shatter cleans up a pair. Ark's doing a lot of work on the charged up Zarya right now. As these kills, they're all going Tracer Dab's way. They are seemingly stonewalling this cart. And I think we can almost safely say that this is Tracer Dab's map.
Yeah, I really like this play coming from, going for these really aggressive early holds, because they've got all the space in the world if they don't work out for them. So I really like this aggression. It means that they're not allowing Six Head to get set up. And another fight coming out here at just before overtime even hits.
Dragon Blade, or Nano Blade I should say, on PS4 though. He's already gotten 2. He has had massive work. But Chun-Li getting 2 with the Diva Bomb to counter this out. It's a very tight fight, and it's going to be Royal Eskimo on the Moira. Cleaning up the Genji. 2 players left alive here. Make that just 1. It's Homaz trying to get the res in. And he will res the Genji. It's just the 2 of them. Diva's coming forth with the Diva Bomb. Will it find anything? In fact, it will find the Lucio. But this is still not looking great for Six Head.
Well, that said, they are starting to get the kills through that they need to get this one going. And Dr. Meme's Shatter somehow not managing to hit anything, because Blizzard have assured us that that's been fixed. But it does actually look like, Eevee going down as they pull out the barrage. But even with that, it's actually looking like Six Head are going to make some progress here, but we are still going to have a very strong defense coming from Tracer Dab. Coming in here, Six Head still very scattered on this. And there's the sound barrier as well, so this is definitely looking very much in favor of Tracer Dab here. Six Head, they got a lot of presence on this point, but they don't have a lot of killing power. Like that said, here comes PS4 with another blade. A lot of ults being committed here over the top, not a lot coming out of them, and the kill's still coming through very much in favor of Tracer Dab. It's the last few members of Six Head managed to not quite keep the cart alive in that overtime situation.
Wow, that was after what was a very weak defense from Tracer Dab in the later phases of the opening half. That was beautiful from them. They got the early engagements in. They weren't giving anything. They weren't letting anything happen. They were just in complete control. They looked poised, and they looked like they deserved to win that map.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they took control, they had the initiative, and they retained it. And they only lost it for one brief moment, and then they quickly took it back again, didn't allow Six Head to start to build up any momentum, and just shut it down. So very nicely played by Tracer Dab, and that'll put them up 2-0 in this series.
And our next map will be the Assault. It will be Hanamura. And I think that still has to favor Tracer Dab.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Saltamura is definitely one of those maps that is widely hated more than loved. But there are a couple of different ways to play it, and Tracer Dab have shown to be very good at their particular style of play. We'll see if Six Head can continue to try and adapt to that, because we definitely saw more life out of them on Route 66 than we did back on Ilios, but especially from PS4. I mean, PS4's blades have been absolutely huge, but on the flip side, it seems like half of PS4's blades are just negated by Chong-Li's Deeper Bombs, so it comes down...
Yeah, it doesn't really matter if you get a 3K if a 3K goes the other way and then your team doesn't clean up on anything else.
Yeah, exactly.
So that'll be the thing to look forward to, is seeing if Six Head can play a little bit better around PS4. If he still has that high impact, if they can do anything to kind of support their boy and pull off the map win, pushing us to what would be our fourth map, Hollywood. We need it. We also have control, our control section on Oasis, and of course, if we need a tiebreaker on this map or Hollywood or at any point, it'll be Lijiang Tower. But I don't think we'll need a tiebreaker. I'm not sure.
No, it doesn't feel like it'll go all the way to there. So it's going to be interesting what we see out of here, because Hanamura has been for such a long time a very goats-heavy map. Will we be seeing more Goanna out of these teams, especially on the attack, of course? Will we be seeing some more variations?
Never stop fighting.
It looks to be variations at the beginning here. At least as they start to pick. Chun-Li over on the Roadhog. We got an Arissa. Junkrat, Mercy, Ana. I like this. This is not goats, so that makes me happy.
Oh, and that's a fairly standard defensive comp for this one, though. What we really need to see is what Six Head are going to be bringing out. And at the moment, they have basically 5 members of Goats with a Symmetra who's just swapped over to the Zaya. So it looks like classic Goats coming out from Six Head here. But
at least it's not the Goats versus Goats that I got used to seeing on this map, because for the longest time, that's what it was here, was just Goats on Goats. We got Goats on not Goats, so that makes me happy. We're halfway there.
It's a really nice early hack from Tiger Bro there onto Bread, who is really feeling it.
This engagement now on the point, there is some causing all kinds of disruption, bouncing players around. Tick 1 has already come in, but neither team have gotten any kills. It's just by negating Tracer Dab's point presence that they found a Tick. Players still trying to fight this one out. They're looking for anything as Dr. Meme gets right on the point, but he's clean sweeped there. Art's trying to come back in with something. Another Tick will come through. This point has almost been capped straight because, of course, Goats works. Of course it does.
It looked like they might manage to stop it there. The really early hack from a very well-positioned Sombra on the part of Tiger Bro got an early hack onto the Reinhardt there and put him into a very vulnerable position. But unfortunately, they just didn't have the damage ready to follow through onto that. Arx wasn't in position to rain a huge amount of Junkrat bombs, and as a result, they managed to regroup and continue the push.
And a nice rip tire there from Arcs. We'll pick off Desmond. Homus is going down as well. And the defense finally coming to life, finally showing a little bit of something as they're starting to find these kills. There's just the Brigida and the Ryan. Brigida's trying to escape. And looks like they will.
Okay. So I wonder if Tiger Bro is planning to swap here. Doesn't look like it, but that EMP almost felt a little unnecessary. I felt like that fight was already over when the EMP was committed, so maybe a little mistake there that can be exploited by Sixhead, as they do have a lot of ultimates either about to come online or already online, and the defenders don't really have a lot of tools left in their tank right now.
That Shatter only managing to catch Arcs, but it does enough as they find that kill. Subred down as well. Offense looking in good position so far. Now it's just the follow-up that matters. Eskimo is down, Chung-Li D-Mac. There is Dr. Meme denying the area here. Gonna do a lot of damage. Graviton coming forth, but it looks like this is good for the offense. They've gotten a tick thus far. Looking for any more ticks. They're finding the kills. They seem to keep clearing off the point. Eskimo is doing a great job of delaying, as is Tiger Bro. Hack will come in. It's going to catch a few people, but again, it's not going to be enough. Eskimo should be cleaned up, but not before the spawn's coming. Actually, he gets off the point, so they get a tick. Someone needs to get on this. They will get on it in the nick of time. Chung-Li with the bomb picks off Desmond. Arcs and Chung-Li, the only two people on this point. Now it's just Chung-Li trying to delay for spawns. Once again, taken out. Spawns have arrived. And this fight is going on forever, Peronius.
It is, absolutely, but Desmond going down there could be key, because losing the Moira means a lot of healing not available. That said, the defenders are having trouble staying alive long enough to start building the counter-attack onto it, and the kills are still coming through in favor of Sixhead here. Ark's dropping down the Meteor Strike, but not getting anything with it. It's just actually looking like it's about to be fully capped here by Sixhead. Royal Eskimo making it back onto the point, but no one else is going to make it in time, and that's it. That's a full cap.
It's a very nice time coming out as well. I mean, despite the fact that it was delayed, because that first point was capped on their opening push, they got 4 minutes and 26 seconds left in the bank, and that is beautiful from Sixhead.
Yeah, it's a very solid time, and once again, it really came down to Tracer Dab over-investing on that first point B defense and being left with no tools in the tank, as Sixhead came through with 5 ultimates online. So it really did become a game of ultimates. And they just, when they moved over to their stall heroes to keep things alive, they just didn't quite have the punching power to get enough trade kills to start spinning the fight back in their favor. The kill onto Desmond was big, but no one else was dying from that tanky goats comp, which just means that they can just sit on point forever.
And that is exactly what they did. They just set up camp, tent city there. There was no moving them, no stopping them. It's like they bolted themselves right into the ground.
Yeah, set up the little desk, hang up the sign, kick us off the point. You know, we're setting up on this point, change my mind. And of course, just no minds being changed there. But we will be seeing, by the looks of it, the more contemporary variant of goats coming out from Tracer Dab here, the Goanna, as Subred continuing to play that really potent Anna. And we will be seeing a very similar defensive comp coming out from Sixhead as well. They're running double projectiles, so they're obviously expecting this sort of comp coming through.
Oh, it is going right in towards the point, getting right in up on there, but Arcs picked off early is very nice. PS4 doing great job there, and they found Tiger Bro as well. This comp is being picked apart. They have managed to grab a tick, which is, you know, it's a consolation prize. Now they've demac'd Ace and 8. Looking for anything else, though.
Oh, it's a nice
coming
charge.
In from Dr. Meme. This is not going as much as I expected it to.
Yeah, they managed to disengage there and then re-engage through. Dr. Meme's gone for a reckless charge to try and get the safety and managed to almost accidentally pick up a high-value charge target, and now they've established their presence on this point here. And even though Eevee is very hard to deal with in the sky, because the point is not that high off the ground, there's still a decent amount of damage able to direct up into that Pharah. And so as a result, we are going to see this one cap through with still a pretty good time.
650 in the bank for them to try and get the second point. We'll see if they can do it anywhere near as fast as Six Head. Perhaps defending is neither team's specialties. We're getting up for it. They are on the point. It is being contested, of course. We're going to see where the next kill comes in. PS4 getting the first pick as Bread chimes in, picking down Sub Red. Red will fall, though, as the offense is still looking comfortable. Chun-Li getting the Mercy is another nice follow-up as Tracer Dab look poised to plant themselves in their tent city on this point. They've already gotten 2 ticks. They're climbing their way up to a third one. The Diva Bomb will come forth. What will it find? It finds Eskimo as they are trying to stall this one out, Peronius.
Yeah, absolutely, but it looks like the reinforcements are actually coming through. They're getting some stuff done here. Eevee now dropping the barrage, does pick up Subred again, and I actually think the defenders will stabilize here, but then again, a couple of quick kills coming through from Dr. Meme could be all they need to get the fight going again in their favor, and it looks like that Desmond now getting zoned out by that big Rhine shield. The defenders have set up a really nice position around. Another big shadow coming out from Dr. Meme. But I can't tell which way this one's going to go. Actually, it does look like it is going to go in favor of Tracer Dab. Bread pulling out the Primal Rage now, just trying to buy time. But I think it's only a matter of time. There's the Grav being committed, so that could be the end of it here. And another wave of reinforcements coming in through, so we could be strapping in for a long one here, Graham.
Yeah, I mean, they are brawling so very hard. This tick is so close. No one's on it. Oh, the Hammond gets in just in time. Lucio is there as well, trying to stall, trying to wait for the next wave of enforcements to come in. That's been juking around, and it will be the Doomfist getting there as this fight continues. They're looking for anything they can find. There are 4 on the point right now. Diva Bomb will go sky high, not able to find anything as Eevee has fallen. They need to find some kills in quick succession, and there's a pair of them. Fred and Desmond going down. No Winston, no Lucio. Moira cleaned up 2. There's Ace on the point, and the Eevee has respawned. 2 players will once again be cleaned up. Ace is still there fighting it out, as is the Genji. And now the Winston is back in on the point. Another Graviton Surge coming forth. Desmond should going down. There is the Moira. This might be the last one. There it is. We got the cap through. With all the delays, a team kill ends it. And oh my.
What an incredible fight. I think that one went for at least 90 seconds there. Just a solid fight. 4 minutes and 12 seconds the time in the bank there, which does mean that Six Head actually do have the time bank advantage as we move into the second phase.
And how, I mean, this is a question that people have asked for a long time. How do you deal with a super effective team on goats?
I mean, I think they had the right tools there. They had the Junkrat and the Pharah. The first fight started out really well. Arx ended up stuck in the Junkrat trap and got punished for it, got picked off. It looked like he might get away with it alive. Dies right before the trap releases him. Or in fact, I think it was right after the trap releases him. But even then, they some really nice positioning on the part of Tracer Dab. They disengage. Dr. Meme goes for an almost kamikaze charge through, just trying to go for that high-risk, high-reward play, and does manage to pick up a crucial target, and from there they start to snowball the fight back. And of course, second fight was a lot of the early progress was off another really good shatter from Dr. Meme, and then even though the occasional kills were coming through in favour of the defenders, it was just never enough. But we'll be seeing another Goats push coming out from Tracer Dab as they make their way forwards, pushing through the arch here, and we'll see if they can execute this one a bit cleaner than they did their first push, or if the defenders can find a way to stop this unstoppable comp.
Well, PS4 going down early is a very nice start for Tracer Dab. They've already got a tick on the point. They're going to grab a second one here momentarily. There it is, as they can't even get on this point to contest. Players starting to funnel in, but they're doing it one at a time. Almost in all kinds of trouble, and there should be your cap through. It's just Eevee on the point. Will go down, and that's, again, beautiful. Well, not quite. There it is. Beautiful time for Tracer Dab.
I
You got
suppose the
4
silver
minutes still.
lining here is Dr. Meme doesn't have his Earth Shatter up this time. Arx is getting very close to that Graviton, and Chun-Li, of course, has the Eevee committing a very early barrage there, but just getting absolutely punished for it. So, a couple of kills either side, and that res onto Eevee could be crucial though. That's definitely going to give the defenders an edge here.
Yeah, Eevee is going to be the difference maker. They don't really have much that can deal with the Pharah. Because of that, they do have to fall back.
Bailing out.
We have finally seen our first successful hole.
Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, that is actually the first time we've seen the defenders win a clear fight on this map, and that is crazy to say.
Yeah, it only took us the first overtime.
That said, both teams have a lot of ultimates online for this next push. Actually, Tracer Dad have a slight ultimate advantage coming in here, so we'll see if they can leverage that.
They are moved forward, moved in. And oh, Chun-Li! Make that 3 for Chun-Li with the Diva Bomb. That might be enough. In fact, it will be. There it is.
Yep, there it is. BS4 not quite able to get on there, gets stunned out by the Brigitte as he tries to dash to the point to keep it alive, so very nice heads-up play there to deny the point to him. And still 2.5 minutes on the clock there for another time back round if it's needed, which, at the rate this is going, it may well be.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. 232 is good for them. Making it work.
Yeah, I mean, 232
pressure
is
is off.
definitely enough time to make for another double push through and still finish not quite an overtime unless the defenders get up another big defensive stall fight. So they could even potentially be looking at another round after that as well. So they're in a good spot there and they'll be feeling pretty happy about it. And it looks like this time we are going to be seeing a very different defense out of Tracer Dab. With Arcs on the Bastion, they are looking to melt these tanks.
I like it. I love it. I want to see more of it. I think this might be the key. Got the Bastion. They've got Dr. Meme on the Orisa.
Well, it's an interesting choice to set up the Bastion on the low ground, though, because surely you're expecting another Goat's push. Surely you'd want a high ground where it's hard for them to get at you. The low ground, it's bait, but it's risky.
Well, the thing is with the way that rock is set up, and how there is the Ursa there, you can't really see the Bastion until it starts shredding you. So it's very well protected from back there. It's just about the big draw. They are going for the wrap play up top, 6-head trying to negate the impact of the Bastion, and because of that, it is setting up right behind the point.
Yeah, so I like that. I like that spot a lot better because, yeah, anytime you're near cover, Diva can potentially shut down your Bastion for the entire time it takes for your Reinhardt to close on it.
Nap time.
Arc's getting an
Bastion.
early DMEC there is good though.
Bastion doing the work as intended, coming back into this fight, just shooting through. But
Ooh,
what
good
a
shatter.
shatter! That catches everybody! And now the cleanup is so on point. 4 players down. The remaining 2 just jumping off a cliff as that first point has been completely done on a team kill.
Absolutely, and so now they're going to look to try and rock this through. Arc swapping immediately over to the Doomfist, knowing that they need some instantaneous swapping power, and now swapping over to the Zarya, which I actually questioned, but here we go.
Well, good news is for Tracer Dab, they find the opening kill onto the Brigitte. They're finding a few more here, and this will be a hold. They've stopped them out. Now find the remaining players. So good on them getting that one. Desmond might be... No, they didn't spot that out. I was going to say Desmond might be in some trouble. But he'll escape with his life.
Okay, so it looks like they've gone over to the Zarya just to try and get the Zarya. Like, they knew that early rally. They just want to get the Zarya set up for the long game rather than going for an emergency Doomfist to try and bring a halt on it. And it pays off for them because they've won that fight. They're now in a great position to set up for this long game. Dr. Meme's going to have his shatter up fairly soon. Eevee does have the grav, and that is something to worry about because they don't quite have the transcendence. But an early fight pick here is definitely going to sit them up to win.
That Shatter, I thought, should have gotten a bit more. But this is such a weird brawl out in the yard. As Ace and 8 getting DMAC, Thomas and Brett going down, so it's working out beautifully for the defense. Despite being a weird fight, they've killed them all.
Yeah, no, they've picked a fight. It was definitely not a fight that Six Head were expecting, and that can be the biggest tool there. No one expects a Reinhardt to come barreling out of that defensive position right into you there, and he ends up being chased up a wall and actually knocked up onto the high ground, giving him a brief moment of respite while his team comes through to bail him out. And of course, Subred able to provide some long-range healing. But here's the Graviton coming out now.
Red Shield doing a lot to keep him alive, but the health is very poor. Dr. Meme will finally fall as a few more ultis are being used, thrown onto this point. Diva Bomb not going to find anything. The counter bomb coming in. It will find PS4. So there is a good start for this defense to continue to hold. Minute 36 left on the clock. They need to cap all the way through, and a good shatter from Dr. Meme picks off Bread. Defense looking for any more kills, and once again they will find them. Tracer Dab having the answers. Finally, they seem to understand the playbook. They know what they need to do, and they are executing on all cylinders as they try and finish this series in 3 maps.
Absolutely, and they're in a great position here looking at this ultimate economy. Arx has got a Graviton up, which means an early grab as Six Head are looking to come through. Could set them up to win the next fight, and with 1 minute on the clock, there's really only 1 or 2 fights left here as well. Six Head making some late comp switches, PS4 moving over to the Soldier, so they're obviously looking to try and set him up on the high ground, get some long range damage down, but I don't know if they've got time to really build up that tech site before the end of the round.
Well, the recently buffed 76 might have some high impact. You're spraying through right now. Just trying to find some damage. He's already up to 30%, but there is only 30 seconds left. He's built it just about fast enough, but he needs to do a little bit more. His entire team needs to find something as they grab that high ground right now. They're backing the players away for the defense, but they're not finding any kills. 15 seconds left. They need to get on this point, and they're falling way back because there's a Diva well behind. 10 seconds left. They need to get on this. Herodius, they're running out of time. The Graviton comes
Absolutely
in.
running
They're
out of
not
time.
going to get there.
They're not, there's a desperation grab, and Royal Eskimo is just going to pull out the trans here and negate it. Huge Diva Bomb from Chun-Li coming in over the top, and this one looks like it is all but over as the last few members of Six Head get cleaned up there. And I just really want to highlight the incredible Diva play from Chun-Li there, because Chun-Li has gone up onto that high ground and made PS4's life hell, and no one else from Six Head was there to bail him out. He's had to run, and then Chun-Li's gone deep chasing him and has just absolutely locked the Soldier out of the fight, and that was the main damage source they were looking to open things up. So incredibly well played there by Chun-Li, and it's just absolutely won that last defense for them.
Beautiful, beautiful play, Tracer Dab. I mean, they bent frequently. They gave an electric time up on this map. They gave a very good time up on Route 66. But the key is bend, don't break. And the defense showed up big time on both maps. And that's why Tracer Dab take this series 3-0. Winning all of our first 3 maps on Ilios, Route 66, and Hanamura. And it was a well-deserved victory for them, Peronius.
Absolutely. They've really got to be happy with that. I mean, they are obviously one of the stronger teams probably in this ladder. They had a very good showing in the last season, and have had a good showing in some other local tournaments as well. So they are definitely a very strong team, and one that's been together for a while, and it definitely shows in what we've seen from them today.
Now, Peronius, it's the first time we've casted together. But when I cast with Cyberwaste, I always like to put him on the spot. I like to make him do something that he always hates me for. I like to make him pick an MVP, and I want to know who your most valuable player is from this game.
Now, this is definitely an interesting one because there's some great performances coming out. Arx basically dominated Ilios, and Sub-Red was so consistently good on the Ana, but I have to give it to Chun-Li's Diva because time after time, fight after fight, Chun-Li was managing that really nice balance between aggression and defensive play. They were pretty much always where they needed to be, and they were getting some really good diva bombs as well through good coordination with their Sombra or with other ultimates on their team to just really get a lot of value out of the hero. Plus, I'm a tank player, so I'm biased as hell towards tanks, but I really think Chun-Li was the difference maker in this match.
Absolutely. Chung-Li had so significant impact. Even just going in behind and pulling all those players back at the very end. It delayed that push so late. They tried to come back in, and there wasn't a lot they could do. You know, both supports were fantastic as well. Royal Eskimo did a really good job staying alive in some of those engagements on Lucio, and overall did well. Sub-Red, so many great anti-nades. I'm actually going to give it to Dr. Meme, though.
Okay.
Because on the Rhine, like, first of all, he was doing a great job negating. We noticed how high the impact Chung-Li had was with those Diva bombs. But the worst, like, the big thing is they weren't coming back in the other way from Six Head because Dr. Meme was doing such a good job of keeping a shield on it, keeping his teammates alive, and just really nice play from them. He had some really nice shatters, set some things up very well. So he was my MVP, but really with the way that all of Tracer Dab played, you couldn't really go wrong with picking anybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Some phenomenal performance from Tracer Dab. They're definitely going to be one to keep an eye on in the coming weeks and in any tournament you see them in, really.
I think that's all I have to say so far. So, Peronis, I'm going to have you plug your Twitter right now.
Plug my Twitter. I have a feeling that I am at Pyronius, but I barely use Twitter, so I'm actually really terrible at the social media presence, something I definitely need to be working on. I am indeed.
Is there
at
anything you want to
Pyronius.
plug, like a stream or something then?
Not at the moment. I am still in sort of development phase. There'll definitely be some stuff coming in the near future. So if you do want to give me a follow on Twitter, I will eventually be beginning to put some content out. But for now, I'm just keeping things on a bit of a down low because if I'm going to be churning out content, I want it to be good.
Makes sense. And if you did enjoy my casting, you can give me a follow at Dreamboat Casts on Twitter. I haven't changed it yet. So despite going by Graham, my Twitter is still Dreamboat Casts.
You'll always be our dreamboat.
Aw, thanks, man. And it's been an absolute pleasure, Peronis. Shout out to Zero Aim on production. And for all of us here at AAOL Sports, have a great evening. Drive safe.